Okay, now that we've marinated our chicken, we're going to do a stir fry. So I'm just going to show you how to cut some of the vegetables. Again, onion cut in half, and then you're just making large slices. And then with the Chinese peas, all you need to do is break off the end, and like you would shuck any peas. And all I do is I cut them in half. So if you just line them all up, cut them in half. And then I'm also putting in Napa cabbage. And this you just want to slice in little thin slices. Celery, again, same thing. Chinese ways, they like to cut it in angles though. So you would cut it at an angle. Oops, that was a good one. Cutting board's running away. And same thing with your carrots. Your carrots actually might be safer if we cut it down the middle so it doesn't roll away from you. And then again, cut it at a diagonal. Cutting board's running away. There we go. Okay. It's cutting a little bright, but that's okay. And also, I put garlic, and the fastest way for garlic is just smash it. And then mince it up.
Oh, that's a cool trick.
Now, when you're cooking your chicken, you can remove the garlic, the ginger. Just put your chicken in here. I'm going to cook up the chicken. And see, when it's bigger pieces of ginger, it's easier to find, so you don't want to cook it. I made a lot of chicken here. Get it all out. And then since you marinate it with oil, you don't actually have to add additional. If you want more flavor, you can put sesame oil in it. Okay. Of course, an electric stove takes forever for it to heat up. You want to stop for now. Okay, once you cook the chicken, then you want to actually start your stir fry by adding your onions and garlic. You want to cook these until they're a little soft. And any other vegetables you're going to put in that is hard. So if you're going to put broccoli, carrots, like I have a little bit here, a little bit there. And even the celery isn't that hard of vegetable, so you don't want to put that in. And as it cooks down, oops, there went an onion. Oh, another
5 second roll.
Okay, then we want to add in. I'm going to add in this now, your bean sprout, your corn, and you can add any vegetable that you want to add in. When you saute, now there's two things that you can use. Bragg's amino acid is a high protein, no sodium. So if you're trying to cut down on the amount of salt, you still get the flavor, and it's a soybean based product. And you can buy this in any grocery store where you have your healthy organic foods. Or like the Chinese, we use oyster sauce. Now, the problem with oyster sauce, you got to make sure you read the ingredients, because there's a lot of oyster sauces out there that have MSG in it. So if you don't want an MSG, then make sure it's not on the ingredients. And you just add a little flavoring here. Again, to taste. It's not really salty. People think oyster sauce is really salty, but it's not really. At the same time, we're going to add a little bit of chicken broth. Okay, then you add your chicken back to the stock, to the vegetables and everything. And to give it a little more color, I also have the Chinese peas that I cut up. A little bit of celery. And I'm also putting in water chestnuts for added crunch. And at this point, if you want more gravy, you might want to add more chicken stock.
White baby.
And then for a little more flavoring, because this was a ginger marinated, I'm going to grate in, and you can use a Japanese grater or just any grater that you have at home and grate into. The only reason I like the Japanese grater, it makes like a paste, so you won't know that there's ginger in there, but you'll get a lot of the ginger flavor. The only thing you have to be careful with this grater, knuckles. It's very easy to get them chewed up.
Chicken gumbo, is that what it is? Chicken gumbo soup?
And also a little bit of ground pepper. And since everything you want, when you do stir fry, you want your vegetables to be a little crunchy. So you don't want to cook it too long. So what I do is I make a little well in the middle so I can see when the broth is boiling. Because now you're going to have your cornstarch slurry, which is basically cornstarch and water. And you're just going to make it to, it looks almost like milk. It's very thin. And this is what all Chinese use to make the gravy and make everything shine. Because right now you notice nothing shiny. So once it's boiling, you add it to the center. And once it comes back to a boil, everything's going to have that shine. You're going to have your gravy and you have stir fry. The longer you leave it on, the thicker the gravy is going to get.
Yes.
And there's your gravy and there's your stir fry.
Looks wonderful.
Hopefully it tastes wonderful.